So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology and why you should wait for the iPhone 18 Pro Max. Now, of course, we're going to use 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 17 Pro Max to discuss the reasons why you should wait. Major battery boost is the very first one. So the 16 Pro Max was a pretty good phone if you're coming from a couple years old here with the battery life. It boosted over the 15 Pro Max, but wasn't quite the level of the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but better, I would say, than 14 and the 15 Pro Max. Had better thermals as well, but this one got even better with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've been raving about it all year. As a matter of fact, I'm at 52%. This was from 100% charge yesterday. We're already, we're about 8:21 in the morning here, and we're already still at 52. This is what I'm talking about. You can go like a whole 2 days on a single charge with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So this boosting up to around 5,500 milliamp hours is kind of exciting, I would say, for those of you out there who are always looking forward to having a little bit better battery life each and every year. I actually never had to once use the low power mode on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I'm sure some of you might have used it, but I actually didn't even have it in Control Center this entire time simply because I never really needed it. So if you're looking for a battery boost, this is definitely a wait for sure. The next one is going to be the Apple A20 chipset. Now, while it doesn't seem like the chips really matter too much, where it's going to matter is it's a 2 nanometer design. So that's actually coming over from the 3 nanometer. What it's going to do is allow for acceleration with the AI. So as AI accelerates, you're going to have the chip in the iPhone 18 Pro Max to go well into the future. Now, you can already do that with the 17 Pro Max, but as it gets a little bit more powerful, this is going to be the phone you're going to want to have. It's like the starting of a 2 nanometer design. So it's an exciting change for those of you who like to keep your phone long haul. However, 17 Pro Max still very fast with its A19 Pro. Its standardized 12 gigs of RAM has been awesome. That allows you to keep multiple applications open at once in the background, not really choking up the phone whatsoever. And so if you keep the 17 Pro Max, that's also just fine. But I'm saying that the 18 Pro Max, if you want that newer chipset, this might be worth it for the jump in efficiency and power. Because not only is that going to make the battery life better, with the combination of hardware, I'm expecting an extremely long-lasting iPhone when it comes to the 18 Pro Max. Now, there's a highly likely going to be a change from both the 16 Pro Max and the 17 Pro Max in the area of camera. So before, we would have to go to over here, and you could click over here and change aspect ratios and stuff like that. You could also go to portrait mode, and then you could go over here and you could change the aperture like this, and you could kind of change the focus in the background, which was kind of software. It was fine. But we're supposedly going to be seeing a variable aperture. Now, this isn't nothing is confirmed until Apple launches the phone. Let's get it that way. This video is going to be based on a lot of rumors and the research I've done around what's to come. But the bottom line is that waiting it out for a variable aperture will really matter for you if you like depth of field. If you're actually trying to take pictures and blur that background naturally, I think it's worth the wait. Also, if you tend to like taking photos at night, having a variable aperture will really help. I think Samsung did a variable aperture camera a long time ago. I think it was the S9 series? It was one of those series back then. And they kind of went away from it, but it was pretty cool tech. You could literally see in some of my older videos, I was showing it how the lenses would actually close and open, and it was pretty cool. And I think we're going to see that in the iPhone 18 Pro Max. So, but with modernized camera performance, modernized quality. So that's going to help quite a bit overall. If you like depth of field, you like low light shots, the camera is worth the wait in that aspect. I think if you're just a standard everyday video and photographer, neither of these phones need an upgrade right now. But if you're coming from 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, this is going to be substantially boosted in terms of your overall quality from those phones for sure. Now, daily tasks, again, going to be fine on both. But the next one is the integration of iOS 27. So I've already been finding that this is 26, but I've been finding that the iOS 27 has been a little bit more better performing, a little bit faster. I have it on my iPhone 17 Pro, the smaller one. But having it integrated to the iPhone right out of the box is going to be a really big deal for those of you out there who do want faster animations, faster performance with swapping between different applications day to day. They're going to improve those animations. So having 2 nanometer, iOS 27, and then on top of that, having good amount of RAM and everything, this new iPhone is going to perform even better than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, it seems like, well, duh, like obviously newer phone going to perform better, but why that's important is because if you've been looking over the past couple of years, there's been a little bit of weird bugs and lags and things, and I think this is the year of refinement. This is the year of giving you fast performance with really solid software. So I'm excited to see how the new phone performs. We will come back with some speed tests next month as they do launch those new iPhones to see if they actually do look a little bit better than even the competition, because that's where I think the competition has really been winning, is animation speed and just kind of like that stuff. So the next one is going to matter a little bit if you care a bit about, things like this. Phone call quality, things like connectivity. They're rumored to be going with the next gen C2 modem. So having the C2, the Apple modems on board, further tightening the control from hardware and software control on the Apple side, but also going to give you likely better performance in that area as they're able to control how it works with their particular phone. Now, the Qualcomm stuff has been really good, especially on the 17 Pro Max, so they got their work cut out for them, but I do think this will also enhance battery life as you're not using a third-party component within the device. So I would wait it out if you're looking for, better battery life with, 5G when you're on 5G and you're on mobile experience, if they're going to be going with their own modem. So that's going to be a big deal for battery life. And that's only going to help as maybe they adopt silicon carbon in the future. I think that is going to help the overall thing, because the tighter they control the phone, the more they can squeeze performance, squeeze battery out of it, and they're getting closer to that goal, I think. So kind of like we've seen with the Apple M series MacBooks, where it's their chip, their silicon made everything better. I think kind of like we're going to see that with their modems being their own modems, the faster CPUs coming down the line. So it's exciting to see how it goes going forward. Not that we're struggling for performance right now. We definitely aren't. But as we continue to go down into the future, life is just seeming to go fast and get busy, and we don't got time for friction. So having the least friction possible, whether that's phone call quality, performance day to day, is always going to be a welcome change. Now, you see on here on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and if you look over here to the 17 Pro Max, we have these chunky dynamic islands. They've been around since the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and they're kind of getting a little bit old. Like, I'm tired of seeing them. Now, we should be seeing a reduced dynamic island. I don't feel that we're going to see a full all screen. That's probably going to be reserved for the 20th anniversary or the 20th iPhone, or maybe even after this next gen. But I honestly think it's going to be for the 20th edition, the all screen, no interruptions. But we are going to see a reduction in dynamic island. So they had the notch. I think the dynamic island gave you a little bit more screen. They reduce it a little bit more. That's pretty much typical what we see from Apple. Usually they'll make small changes, making it a little bit better every year, but not fully overhauling the entire device. A lot of companies do this once the product is a well-known success. They tend to iterate and refine instead of massively overhauling the whole device right away. So reduced dynamic island should give the illusion or the look of more of an all screen, but not quite to the level if you're expecting a fully all screen, something like back in the day with the pop-up One Plus. You remember it had the full screen. We're not quite there because Apple's not going to put a hardware thing that could fail on top of the phone. They're probably waiting to see how they can integrate the camera within the bezel, within underneath the display, something like that, but still retain that high level of quality, which we're known for. And speaking of that camera on the front, that camera on the front is supposed to go up in the megapixel count, according to some rumors, but I don't think that one's going to happen. I honestly think it's going to be the same exact camera, basically, because when they redesigned the selfie camera last year, they made a big change from the prior iPhone 16 Pro Max, and you can zoom out much further. You can do this ultra wide stuff, and I just don't see. You see how long it took to go from this type to this type? I don't see it changing much. I think it's going to be very, very similar, but there is a potential for a different megapixel count on the front. So that's up in the air, I would say. Now, the next one is enhanced durability. This phone got a few complaints about some chipping, some denting. Well, not chipping, like denting on the aluminum. So we'll see if they do a different process of the aluminum to make it maybe slightly more durable, as it's not quite the level of titanium and stainless steel. I wouldn't put it past them. They might add some kind of finish or something like that to just make it a little bit more durable on the next version of the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Not that this one wasn't, but it's just, we see these things sometimes, like, improved corrosion resistance, something like that, and overall improved strength of the frame, something in that area, along those lines. And my most exciting one, and this is why I saved this one for last and why you should wait, especially if you like this color, is like a red or a cherry color. So if you like a dark red, a cherry color, that's the most rumored color to be coming. However, I am excited about this, but I do have to weigh my expectations, and you might as well, because a lot of times there'll be rumors of colors and that color doesn't even come true. So we'll have to see. People have been talking about this color all year. So I think it might happen, just like the orange was talked about a lot, and it happened. But there has been times when you just get a color you weren't expecting. So we'll see what happens. But I do think it's time for a red. It's been so long. They showed the orange last year. It was a pretty cool touch for the fall time. But as we go into fall this year, I'm looking forward to seeing a red. And I hope they continue in the Max line with these bold color options, because, these standard golds and, silvers and grays, while, yeah, it fits most people, some people just want that color option that pops. Not everybody wants to wear black shoes and white shoes. Some people want to wear that vibrant color. And this is kind of the same thing when you're rocking your phone right there, for example. So that was just a little analogy. But future-proofing yourself is kind of the obvious point to wait at this point. You're only a month away. If you spend now, both these phones will be more now, because as the 18 Pro Max comes out, they do reduce in value. They're not going to reduce in value a substantial amount, but I'm pretty certain once those phones launch, the value of these will go down just a little bit. So you might want to even wait these out. If you're looking forward to get one of these, cop one of these used, you should probably just wait till September at this point. But this is why you should wait. All the reasons I suggested here. I think it's just going to be one of those years, kind of like when we had like an iPhone, remember when we had like the iPhone 12 Pro Max? It was a good phone, really nice phone. And then the 13 Pro Max kind of refined it, made it really, really beautiful. Like in terms of like all the things we wanted a little bit extra over this 12 Pro Max. I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen here with the 17 Pro Max to the 18 Pro Max. So pretty exciting, I would say, for a slab. I'm also pretty excited in the foldable iPhone. I'm pretty sure you are as well. So let me know which one you're more excited about down below in the comments, the slab iPhone 18 Pro Max or the upcoming folding iPhone. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned. We will be covering the Galaxy Z Fold 8 later this week as my pre-order does arrive. So be locked in for that. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.